Hi and welcome back to Bride Society. So today we're going to give you some ideas of questions you might want to ask when you're going to visit potential wedding venues. You might want to check out our previous video about venues, which is narrowing down your choices and shortlisting a few which will then lean on to visiting, and we'll link that up here so you can have a look. So yeah, let's get straight in.
Yeah, so one of the first things that you might want to think about, if you haven't already, is whether the venue will tie you in to set packages, and if that's what you want, great, and then ascertaining what you get like per person within those packages, and what that will look like, because quite often when you go down they might have a bit of an area already set up for you to sort of model it, and so you get a bit of a visual about what you can expect, particularly obviously if you go there on a wedding fair day. Or do you get free reign where you can do like your own thing, and if so, like when can you get in to set that stuff up? Like, can you get in the day before, or do you kind of have to like run around the morning of and rope in helpers and things? So yeah, just knowing when you can do all that stuff, and what if there are any limitations to what they'll allow you to do, like kids then probably don't want you like climbing up on ladders because you have to have like a certificate to be able to do that these days.
Like hammering things into walls and things like that.
Yes, yeah, they probably have limitations around that. So yeah, just check out if you have sort of some ideas in mind already, so you can manage those expectations, I guess. And are you locked into their suppliers? Do they have ones that they say you must use these, or it's a bit of that and a bit of bringing your own? Obviously if it's a package deal, it's probably more just theirs, and maybe a few extras added on probably. Yeah. But one of the ones that's probably up in the air, it might be the caterers. So it's knowing whether they provide the catering, or do you need to source somebody to bring them in. And I guess tied in with that as well is about alcohol. So you may think, oh, I'll provide my own alcohol, that'll be cheaper. It often isn't. So some venues just outright won't let you bring your own, which is understandable. And if they do, they quite often will charge you what they call a corkage charge. So, because obviously they're still probably the ones like opening it, serving it, and all that kind of thing. So they're taking a fee. So it kind of ends up a lot of the time being a wash, and yeah, probably not worth the hassle. But check it out. Find out what that cost is, and with the catering, if you are tied in, can you taste it? Can you have a tasting session? Because A, let's face it, we all want to do that, and B, also obviously just making sure and selecting your choices and that kind of thing. So yeah, there's quite a lot to think about on that front, really. When you go in.
Something else quite important to think about is timings of the day. So are there limitations on what time guests can arrive at the venue? Like some venues may not allow anybody to be on site before a certain time in the morning.
Yeah, they're running around setting up themselves.
And what time do you have to be out? So does everybody have to be off site by midnight, for example? Or what time do you have to switch music off? So it might be whatever time the music has to be switched off, that's when you have to be out as well. Or do you have to switch music off earlier but you still can be around and
milling around? Yeah, because it's often things like residential areas that will cause a music related issue.
And something also to think about with that is, do the venue allow amplified music? Are you allowed a live band, or has it got to just be maybe through speakers or a DJ, something like that?
Yeah. And then as well, it's like, have you got exclusive use of that building? So sometimes if it's a larger hotel type venue, they might sort of split the venue in two. So they're quite often quite good about it in that make sure like you're not sort of intersecting with each other and things. But yeah, there might be more than one bridal party and wedding going on at one time. Does that bother you? Like, do you want full reign and exclusive use? Bearing that in mind too. And if it is like a hotel type venue, like think about the accommodation side of it too, because you can sometimes get like a group rate deal. So there'll be like a password or whatever that guests, when they're booking rooms, can use to get a cheaper rate before a certain cut-off point and that kind of thing. So maybe inquire about that and what that rate might be, because that might make it more appealing.
Or if they have any relationships, if there isn't accommodation on site, with local hotels or bed and breakfast, things like that, to see if there's anything, any deals to be done there as well. And also think about car parking. So is there enough car parking on site? How easy is it to get to the venue? And also, if guests who aren't staying maybe on site at the venue, if they want to leave their cars there, can they do that? What time do they have to be picked up in the morning? And also, as well as car parking, if you've got any maybe elderly guests coming, or anybody who with disabilities, is there access for them? Can they easily move around the venue? Are there places that they would be limited going? So just think about this accessibility for all your guests as well.
Yeah. And that, in terms of, it's like, are children allowed in your venue? Maybe if it's a bar venue or all this kind of thing. And actually, sorry, one thing I was going to say earlier in terms of what time you have to be out by. If it's not, like, if you have to be out by like 11 o'clock or something, and that's not late enough for you, think about, like, is there a bar nearby that you might be able to like arrange sort of an after party at, and you can all kind of go over there to sort of celebrate on and things. But yeah, sorry, that was something that just popped into my brain. But yeah, no, is children allowed there? Is that important to you? Is it not? And pets, like maybe you've got a dog or something and you're really keen for like them to bring your rings down the aisle, or you want one of these, like, you can get these owls, can't you, to bring their rings down. There's all these kind of, I've seen all these kind of cutesy ways of involving pets and things. So yeah, maybe check out whether your venue allows that, if that's something you're keen on. And bear in mind about confetti as well. And that may not be an obvious thing, but actually there are venues that don't allow confetti to be thrown on their grounds. So just, again, ask the question so you know, so you can pre-warn guests that might bring their own and that kind of thing beforehand too. But yeah, and then I think the last thing really for us was, like, think about whether you have any special requests. Like, is there anything big you want to do? Is there anything like important to the two of you that you want to make sure your venue can accommodate for you? So, you know, have you dreamed of like arriving at your venue via helicopter or hot air balloon? Is there somewhere to land that? Can they do that for you? Another popular one is fireworks, isn't it? Like at the end of the night, will they allow fireworks? Again, if it's a residential area, you know, there might be issues. So yeah, so just always have these conversations with your venue, because we appreciate, like, there may not always be things that you would imagine there could be a problem with, and there are restrictions that you kind of stumble into.
Yeah, you don't want any nasty surprises once you've booked and then later on they say, oh no, we can't do that, if that was something important.
Yeah, and losing deposits and stuff. So yeah, just have ongoing conversations. But you were saying about the feel of the place. Yeah, so I mean, then most importantly, if they've answered all your questions and you're happy with the responses, then do you like the venue? Do you have a good feeling about it? Could you imagine yourself actually getting married there? Because then that's kind of, you've probably found the one. As well, actually, it just made me think that as well, when you're like contacting the venue to arrange going in and looking around, how responsive have they been to your emails? Like, are they giving you the information that you're actually asking for? They're not really reading it and just sending a blank response. It'll give you an idea about how they're going to be with you further down the line. Because if they're being patchy with you before they've even got your money, what they're going to be like later on. So yeah, obviously they'll be busy and things like that, particularly at peak time. So I'm not saying being super harsh, but yeah, just
bear it in mind.
Yeah.
Go with your gut, and you'll know if you've got a good feeling about them.
Yeah, I've made the mistake of being too forgiving in the past, not with venues, but other suppliers, so yeah.
So we hope that's been useful, and if you've got any other thoughts about questions that might be helpful for the other people, then leave them down below in the comments. We hope you like the video, and don't forget to subscribe for lots more kind of ideas, inspiration and advice, and we'll see you next time.